Good morning, Mr. Maestro. Simple, 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 simple. David Lynch. It's November 28th, so really last Friday, is November 2025. So really last Friday, is November 2025. 2025, eh?
David, Mr. Lynch, can you hear me from here? David, Mr. Lynch, David, it's like Mr. Lynch. Can you hear me from here? Because, and if, he can't believe it. It's a Friday once again. 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 Once again. In Naples. In his once again, totally cloudy, sky and Angeles. Practically, this is the except from Sunday. We had is a bad atmosphere since last week, since last is Wednesday, between Wednesday and Tuesday. So until now, and also this is slightly better. And at the moment also seems now it's early afternoon, we are 13 and 22 minutes. 57 and 14 Celsius. This means this is really soft. Like this is years. As fact soft, it's a classic adjective that you use for the autumn, so spring period, so start for a second. Because emphasis can fact consider the fact that last June 17 January for years suspected really passed 4 years for the course of the summer. As perhaps someone for the summer, I think body also the fact that few weeks ago we entered, no, some weeks ago we entered in the autumn, now also for the autumn, in fact, 4 years for the course, but obviously not for the other 2 seasons. The winter and spring is naturally 6 years. And if practically less than a month we enter in the winter, so now obviously also for the winter will be 4 years for the course. As perhaps someone non remember I think about it, which I mean, suppose did. I'm sure, try to get the things the same. Society methods ma proposed for activation to changes, it's better than perhaps paradox funny. And then you do integration so for the winter, spring, and summer, in fact the winter, so si agiti quello per spring, ma se non ci sono usando gli anni 8, sono tanti in genere for all the seasons, sulle vite sa. La si agiti and as a guy in these, it is me was something nothing bad, absolutely incomplete. Surely for yes, this period because consider for 2 reasons or considering 2 reasons. The first one is the passage from the summer into autumn, the second one, the most important, with because this is in the last definitive change of temperature degrees up some weeks ago, and to which now they are it's completely changed. So pleasant, or if not pleasant, sure, really good. And with the eye, I mean the same temperature degrees, so the sum of all these things makes condition situation completely maybe if not pleasant, sure, really good, at least for me, because I don't feel cold like other people. And when it comes to winter, next winter, I explain this thing because I explained this thing was during the winter. In fact, I explained it in the past winter, the winter for past years, past whatever. But now I explain once again also when it comes to winter. In fact, I don't know for some people, for late, I think, I don't know, because for late, I think they feel cold, for late, I think not. I don't know, in general, I mean, this depends on them. However, in general, I mean, questo iniziare quanto scatto sotto in genere poi I think I can say something that just before this it's a bad artistic in fact can be as my film so this it's a Friday once again as you know Cristo full as a Friday it's a Friday once again as you know Cristo full as a Friday it's a Friday once again and as you know Cristo full as a Friday lasciami per this number 2 this fantastic electric red, black, and also white razor. This is the fifth and also another porza, and I'm starting to use it. I think I'm using it since I think more than 5 months ago. Yes, when the and obviously it's new because it's good. And I also lost the quantity effect or the setting like effect of the Nesquik about breakfast. I promise to do it one time. I said to you the precise date which I started to say to show it, but the precise Friday which I started to show it to you, and also the date which I started to see it, and obviously when I started to see it, when the previous, respectively the third red and white fourth, the blue and white crashed, and they crashed I think 3 weeks ago. Yes, after I started to see it, and yes, only for those who don't know, I said my barrel is 30 minutes, but I share it in 30 minutes and in 2 different rounds because its battery is maximum 20 minutes, in this period of 15 minutes, and also between 10-15 minutes, be precise, I think 12 minutes. Alright, this is done, but this is an important tool for me because important that even if I repeat in different rounds, it covers all the operation. And I now show better to you once again if you don't so well, it's just before red, black, and also white. Slightly different model. It remembers to me perhaps the first one reason, the second one, and also the parts. And this is, I repeat once again, this is, and also I repeat once again, this is the fifth reason, the story of the parts. And in general, this is my fourth channel, questa vlog is the part in sometimes by me as a kind of type of sort of bridge to make a beneficial that si ponte, so much better me music, some also se sui, or also is riesci per create. In really often, I think at the participants repeat this just before, this event to fare at 14 Celsius. Fact, l'importante in questa atmosfera è che ti anticipi. Se vi vuole è bellissimo. Queste cortine sono delle cortine in genere, se mi ripensate, gli sciogliosi mostro perfetto, se si suppose, infatti, sul testo dei Petri si is totally material cloudy sky and also consider in fact the trend practically is last 8-9 days. Also this according to what I read and see my sensations, it's not sure that later Matt became dark bleak and also that material in front of humans from late I think very close. Let's see we see what happens. But as reason obviously I don't chance with it. So what's we see if it's clear it's coming today Rikia bad. So series mythical winner the new white curtain with the green flowers and longer flowers mixed between the plants. New curtains last on the one was also the birthday of the previous curtain, a beautiful grey with the beautiful painted benches. But really publicity this passage between the previous in fact new curtain. I think with the perhaps the fourth comment or the point 2 or 3 of the first comment, yes, I depend the setting in this meter. In the case, I don't know if you really see well it from this shot near me. I think of yes, if you notice the green flowers and longer flowers mixed with thinner plants, I think of yes. Surely better from the other shot or surely better with the shot practically is the first part of the video to which I showed you the sky atmosphere from the weather from the window. Or also from this other particle is a shot similar to the classical shot of film more than 3 years ago for the grey curtain. But perhaps also for the first curtain color of the curtain and among other things is still in the cover image of the channel.
surely I saw one time I'll change it. And this shot also related according to the fact that when there is the green shoot and also when there is but more when there is because if measure analysis a little picture sentence I reduce in this case for the agriculture perhaps this case for the first color that at least I'm not sure so as for the things of the shot I'm not sure for the color of the curtain but surely both the things for the curtain so I repeat once again is little picture sentence also for this curtain is little picture sentence it is this but also and always better visible for me it's a shot at si quanti meno già shot As regarding the shooter, which is il 6 red, submitted special sentence for the curtain, because it's valid also for this thing in this case. And I repeat once again, as it is, but also and always better visible for me, instantly, in this shot, at 6 prima già shot. And finally, from a mythical keyboard in IGX 640, EPG 625, also in 6 prima già shot. Metti molto people, fa la facendo persa, essere le gate che tu era, sono un bel mio sistema. Assolutamente surf, passo lo scherzo. And finally, I hope you all get back. It's in general, insomma, non fa come si let me informarsi, ma poi l'importa sia trasferire fra la reaction, sembra che tu sei stato di fare breakfast, e finita si mi certo vita, finita ne parte da ti fosse questo, finché te la sei, sembra che tu sei ragione. Ora due ripeta. Where do we close the Diego little summers? There are just roll your busy just in 22 minutes. Not an important thing to show us the attention we will be fortunate so I'm really hungry. And as we always say ecco fa ci sono things left in the world. Absolutely. As we know since non sa finché mosto mania essere should be time piro non so avere always senso si chiese like fact of reason I lo sto conto che si should be time piro ripeto promesso io si chiese promesso io one time so ne damage 4 secondi da detto presi detto di c'è stato sui things from the sun shot so bi si inizia gioco quello che batto mosto mania ma tazza con shots from the biscuit da me favorite fact that I remember come biscuit stasera finché tu non avessi fatto messa carta biscuit alle chocolate chip cookies or the cookies with chips chocolate or chocolate chips and if I mistake also for biscuits mi salice ma in particolare allora tu tinga se le vuoi red and this questo fatto mica fa 4 shot lenze Antonio che ti coffia così ma tu sono squicco shot in fact su interesse una shot fa video sarà shot e infine sta sono segreto finché non sto via Shilbisi tam ti video vabbè lo sto conto se non da faccio per su da questo momento scusa ti finisce nowadays you see liberty to think since c'è 189 di ISIS sono sicuro lo sto conto Shilbisi tam ti video se ne faccio per su e so senza direttamente trasferì ai pattern in certi hit once again di milk so very good news within this also the fact things like breakfast was a bomb that's been in particular memorable and if so si che se la stabilità di gioco che so che batto mosso niente so of course I'm referring to the first time so that video and if in some way we so can say the tool you guys breakfast was a memorable and the second thing is about CS fact if argue CS da cona da transi anzi mi sa un po' position mi cosa ma perché se questo position for me era bamma italiani anzi fra cosa a trovare come hanno dio mi cosa they are really super bad. As you tomorrow is beautiful day. A community tomorrow would to will happen. Ma we see.